And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. Happy post-Christmas to you, my friend.
Same to you. I hope you had a great, well, it wouldn't be a weekend. I hope you had a good middle of the week and a good start to the holiday season.
It was all right. Worked out really well. Real quick, I want to tell you about Roller Auction, the leader in Colorado auctions. For over 45 years, on Tuesday, January 6th, Rice Bistro and Sushi are having an auction for mixers, slicers, dining chairs and tables, smallwares, electronics, and more. Bidding is started at rollerauction.com. And don't forget to go to rollerauction.com to learn about upcoming auctions. Get what you want at the price you want today at Roller Auction. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Smokin' Dave's Barbecue. It is not just the best barbecue in town, it's one of the best restaurants in town. You can find Smokin' Dave's Barbecue in Denver, Lyons, Longmont, Estes Park, and Greeley.
Bruce, I understand the Broncos are the king of the hill. They are the number one story in town. They won again. Their record is now 13-3. They beat the Chiefs for just the fourth time at Arrowhead Stadium, but I need to apologize right now. Nikola Jokić and the Nuggets were the story yesterday. That's just one guy's opinion. Sorry, 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists, 71% shooting. Nuggets down by 9 in overtime, and then the Nuggets just happened to score 27 points in the final 3 minutes. We will put right now, momentarily, the Broncos on the back burner because the Nuggets, Jiminy Christmas.
I mean,
that was a game, and he was unbelievable. And it seems like we say that all the time about him, but this was just another Mount Rushmore type performance out of Jokić.
Yeah, okay. Well, so we are elevating an NBA game in December to that level. But you know something? I agree with you, my friend.
I'm glad you do, because I was hoping we wouldn't go back and forth on this. No, I changed around the rundown.
It's all good. It was remarkable to watch in that the Nuggets were comfortably leading this game by as many as 14 points in the third period and really just kind of needed to close Minnesota out. The Timberwolves are a proud team with a badass superstar who just kind of wills them along. And he, you know, Nikola Jokić, rightfully so, gets the headlines because he did the things necessary in a spectacular fashion to win a game. But Anthony Edwards was phenomenal last night as well. And it was another great example of a true rivalry game. Don't talk to me about Oklahoma City. Don't talk to me about the Lakers. Don't. It's Minnesota.
I don't think anybody is. I think everybody would agree with you.
I hope so, because to me, that is the can't miss games on their schedule. When they are playing the Ant-Man and Minnesota, all the familiarity between the two franchises, the fact that the bloodlines are so mixed between the two franchises and all the things that go with it. Minnesota, to a large degree, at least in the beginning, was built to combat Nikola Jokić and the Denver Nuggets. It makes it just what we had last night. Fantastic theater that was led by an impresario at the end of the day. Nikola Jokić at his absolute best, highly efficient. He did something or other that no player has ever done, right? 52 points with 15 rebounds, 52 points with 15 or more rebounds and assists both. It's the first time in NBA history it's been done. Salute.
And, oh, by the way, Minnesota has some great individual defenders in Gobert, Daniels, and also Ant-Man. With that, let's not discount Jamal Murray had a ho-hum 35 points. The two combined for over 90 points. They had 25 assists between the two of them. There aren't enough superlatives that we can go over to talk about Nikola Jokić.
Right.
He is the best offensive player to ever play this game. Ever. Ever. Now, the only guy who you could count in that category would be Wilt Chamberlain. Because Wilt Chamberlain put up numbers, forget about his 100-point game. I mean, he had games where he scored 70 and grabbed like 40 rebounds, which sounds nuts. But like we compare, baseball, Shohei Ohtani and Babe Ruth, it was such a different game. Totally. This is how different the game was when Wilt Chamberlain played. The average center size was 6'8" to 6'10" back then. Wilt Chamberlain was 7'1". Nikola Jokić is 6'11", and he is the average height of every center in the league today. Sorry, I grew up watching Michael Jordan, watching almost all of his games. Michael Jordan is nowhere near the offensive player that Nikola Jokić is. Now, defensively, Michael Jordan's one of the greatest defensive players of all time and one of the greatest offensive players of all time. But when you look at the greatest line score for Michael Jordan in any game that he ever played in his career, Jokić has at least 10 better.
They were different kinds of scores from different places, but I think Nikola Jokić is the most unique player who has ever played in the NBA.
Yes.
That much I say with total confidence. It's something that we have seen from the very beginning. It's continued to evolve and to develop. His efficiency that he did this with last night, when you stop to think about the percentage that he shot with, I mean, it was a remarkable performance in a game that was personal to him. And you don't often see that with him. Usually he's just very, not flatline, but he's just very evenly keeled. He doesn't get ridiculously emotional. He doesn't, get on the downside. He's not on the upside. He just plays. You could tell that the meaning of this game last night, somewhere along the line, maybe it was beforehand, I don't know, meant a little more to him. And the way that he pushed at times that he needed to push without stretching his abilities, doing what he could do the best, which was make people around him better, but score a basket when he needed to score a basket, was simply remarkable. It was the performance of the week, of the day, no question.
Okay, let's dive into the Broncos one step closer, getting the number one seed in the AFC playoffs in a less than comfortable win over the Chiefs, who did not have their top two quarterbacks. With that, Broncos have won 12 one-score games. That is now the most in NFL history. How surprised were you, Bruce, that this game, honestly, wasn't necessarily a nail-biter, but it was way too close for comfort, wasn't it?
It was too close for comfort, but it was still a dominating performance. When you look, if you're going to just look at metrics and the way philosophically that Kansas City played, they played to be in the game in the fourth quarter. This was a low possession game. Both teams had 8 possessions in the game. I would expect nothing less from Andy Reid. Put yourself in a position to win a football game on a short week after a poor performance in Tennessee, but one that they were forced into because of the knee injury to Gardner Minshew. I thought Oladapono was exactly what he should have been, and I thought the Broncos defense made him look exactly what he needed to look like in this game. It wasn't about the Broncos defense. Where this game got interesting and where it got, to me, far too close for comfort was with special teams, penalties, things of that nature. It was, on the surface, a close game that was pretty one-sided, really,
well
when
said.
you get down to it.
The Chiefs committed one penalty, and it was the biggest penalty of the entire game, with Chris Jones jumping off sides. They had one penalty for 5 yards. And if that doesn't happen, I don't think the Broncos snapped the ball. They kicked the field goal, and where the Chiefs ended up with the ball at the end of the game, we would have been looking at overtime.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jokić could have helped them out either.
Yeah.
In overtime.
Now that's if the dominoes.
I like the way I cross-pollinated.
You
that.
did. You nice job on the cross-pollination.
Thank you.
I'm sure that you have been guilty of that on occasions.
What does that mean?
Think about it. Anyway.
No, actually, I really don't know. Listen, you're getting ready to retire, but you better say what you want right now.
Okay, here's what I will say about, first of all, we don't know how that last series would have gone because the Broncos would have defended it differently. Second of all, you are absolutely right. In fact, Sean Payton said it. They were not going to snap the ball. That was all not even a ruse. The Chiefs should have known what was coming, but they executed it well. Quinn Miners barked at the line of scrimmage. They created a movement from Chris Jones. That changed the entire setup of the clock and what it allowed them to do. And they made a hellacious call on third down with a run-pass option for Bo Nix, who, by the way, showed something with his feet and his legs yesterday that we haven't seen for a little bit. We'll get to that, I know, in just a moment, but it was a brilliant play call on third down. Great execution to finish the game off. No, they were going to take the field goal. Now we don't know how that would have changed the way they defended the field with only a 3-point lead instead of a 7-point lead. But regardless of that, it would have made that last drive much more problematic because you've got Harrison Butker, who's pretty damn good from about 57 yards in.
Okay. If I would have when the Broncos played the Raiders in their most recent game, the Broncos were ball control all the way with long sustained drives.
Right.
In yesterday's game, that performance against the Raiders was a hold my beer moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Time of possession, Broncos dominated the stat sheet with like 39 minutes. Total yards tripled up the Chiefs. And 4 drives, 3 of them were 14 plays. The other one was 16 plays. Truthfully, it didn't feel that way because of the closeness of the game. But yes, to your point, they did wind up dominating the game on the stat sheet. And then let's just throw in 11 for 18 on third down.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we cannot go back and say what woulda, shoulda, coulda. But if they don't convert some of those third downs, we're not looking at 14-play drives. We're not looking at a 16-play drive. And now the game is really hanging in the balance. Sorry, I think it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, on the scoreboard, no question about it. It did hang in the balance.
Yeah.
When you stop to consider that, here's how the scoring worked for what the Chiefs produced in this game. They got 7 points directly off of an interception, right? They got 7 points. They got 3 points off of a deep pass interference against Pat Surtain.
Yep.
They got 3 points off of a huge punt return that went from about the 10 to be inside the 50.
Right.
And that's it. So the Chiefs were, in fact, the best drive that the Chiefs had was the last one of the game. They didn't have a drive over 6 plays anywhere else in the rest of the game. So from that kind of standpoint, it was a dominating performance.
Yes.
The kind that you would expect them to have against the third string quarterback. Look, I mean, it is what it is here.
Okay, but are there differences, though, between dominating performances on the scoreboard and dominating performances on the stat sheet? Because honestly, that's what it really was.
Yeah, absolutely. Having said that, you know, if you are a spin forward, positive kind of guy, and my feeling for the Broncos is this is kind of how they've won games all year long.
Yep.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, why is it such a surprise? Well, maybe because they were 2 touchdown favorites going on the road and playing. I mean, I get all of that.
Yep.
But by the same token, you like to, what's the term that you love to use, and I've always loved it, about the what's the death surge that you get?
You get a death surge, yeah.
This was the Chiefs' death surge last night. I mean, it really was. Defensively, they did. They changed the way that they play totally for this game. Totally. Yep. They played in a too high, very soft kind of zone. They kept everything in front of them. Very low pressure play. They did very little to pressure Bo Nix and to hurry him. From that standpoint, it was odd. But yes, there were other things. I'm more concerned about special teams, and the fact that special teams, I thought were playing better a couple of weeks ago. It was all of a sudden, it was like, okay, these guys have turned a corner. And in the last 2 weeks, I think that they've backed up considerably. I thought they were bad last night, bad in terms of field position.
Bo Nix ran the ball 9 times for 42 yards. He was 1 yard away from being the Broncos' leading rusher. I really hope that I am wrong on this, and I am certainly projecting out. When you look at Bo Nix in his last 6 games, he's averaged maybe 12 yards per game. Last night it was 42. I am wondering, because we've been talking about it, you and I, media has talked about it, fans have talked about it, broadcasters have talked about the mobility of Bo Nix and how he can change a game with his feet, kind of like a Jaden Daniels, kind of like guys who run like a Josh Allen, can change the game with their feet. I am wondering, and I say this as I kind of roll my eyes sheepishly, I'm wondering if Sean doesn't want to put too much on tape for Bo Nix heading into the playoffs running the ball. Like, let's look at what Bo has done over his last 6 games. Nothing to see here. We're not going to design any runs for him. And if he does scramble, it'll be out of pressure. And I'm wondering, is Sean saying, wait till the playoffs begin, and now this Death Star will be fully operational come playoff time? And that's a Star Wars reference that you probably don't get because you don't like Star Wars.
Well, I didn't geek out on Star Wars, so.
But you know what I mean.
But I know exactly what
the Death Star is fully operational.
The threat of Bo Nix is worth the actual execution running the ball of Bo Nix, because a team has to account for it. The Chiefs tried to account for it a lot in their zone coverages last night. Where you get into trouble is where you get into your man-to-man schemes, and all of a sudden you don't have someone to account for a quarterback unless you are spying for a quarterback. This is kind of the challenge of playing against a mobile, athletic quarterback. But moving forward, this includes the Chargers, who know it better than anyone because they play in the same division and see them twice a year. But moving forward, you have to account for Bo Nix, period. You have to account for him and the thought that he can take the ball down and run and make plays, which takes more attention than a drop back passer that lives in the pocket and that really doesn't try to be particularly mobile. It's a different challenge for a defense. So from that standpoint, he's a valuable asset to have. Not just the fact that he can move his feet, but the threat that he can move his feet. I thought that their running game last night, thanks to Bo Nix in large degree, but also on the back of RJ Harvey and Jaleel McLaughlin, who had some really nice moments, had a good cumulative effect in this game. They rushed for like 130 some yards or whatever it was. And they did what you want to do with the running game. They continued to work it. And their balance was good between the pass and the run, especially when you consider the short passing game that they use instead of a running game early in downs. It was virtually a 50-50 kind of night in terms of the balance of their offense. So I thought that was good stuff. But here we are, Eric, at the end of a season, heading to week 18. Every goal that the Broncos have had for themselves still are on the table, and they win a game and everything gets taken care of. And we can talk about, and we will as next week progresses, the way they look, this, that, and the other thing, the aesthetics, all of those things I totally get. I get Broncos country being on the edge of their seats, nervous, frustrated, but man, it's all in the results. And right now, especially as we head towards the playoffs, it's all about results right now. Results, period.
When Sean Payton was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, he had a versatile running back in Alvin Kamara. RJ Harvey has just matched Alvin Kamara. The question is, are we watching the next Alvin Kamara? That's next.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 five-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of January 9th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, great promotions, delicious food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
And welcome back, Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. Want to tell you about Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos up in Blackhawk. They have another great promotion going on right now. They're giving away Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of January 9th. Daily cash drawings every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with a locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, a family-owned casino that treats you like family. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Is RJ Harvey quickly becoming the Joker that we heard so much about during the offseason, not Evan Ingram, in which right now RJ Harvey is Alvin Kamara light?
Yes.
He's Alvin Kamara light,
Yes.
and he has tied Alvin Kamara along with a couple of other running backs in their rookie seasons to have at least 5 touchdowns rushing, 5 touchdowns receiving.
Yeah, and well, we're starting to see it. Especially if you look at his trends in the last 4 games. Now, the Green Bay game was the outlier because he didn't catch. I don't think he caught any passes, and I don't think he was targeted particularly much in that game. I'd have to go back and look. But having said that, he is in that sweet spot right now where he's averaging about 65 yards rushing. He is catching the ball generally out of the backfield. His receiving skills have really developed into a trustworthy element for Sean Payton and the way that they attack and use the offense. And he's seeing the field better. He is. He's seeing gaps better. He's seeing avenues better right now. He looks like he's bottled up, and then all of a sudden he's shooting through and picking up yards. He's getting tougher yards right now. He's not being stopped on that first level. He's getting to the second level and starting to do some things. Alvin Kamara light, I am comfortable saying, but you can see for the player, I'll use Sean's parlance, they have a vision for this player. There is no question, and we're starting to see it play out. You can do a lot of things. And that late touchdown was a great example of how they're using him now even more differently than they have in the last few weeks. That was a totally different kind of pattern that they ran on essentially a run-pass option for a quarterback rolling out. But to catch a pass like that at the back in the end zone in the middle of traffic, it's next level stuff, man, for a guy that last night, nice to hear, he was not identifying himself as a rookie anymore. It was good stuff.
With that, you want J.K. Dobbins in the lineup.
Yep,
I get it.
Sure.
But has his injury microwaved
Yes.
Yes,
without question.
Yeah.
And it always does. It microwaves it one way or the other. It heats it up or it makes it stale, right? I mean, one or the other, because you have no other options. You've got to see what you have in not necessarily a force feeding measure, but your options are limited, right? Their options are limited right now in this situation. So you've got to see what you have. He's answered the call. He's been everything that you could hope for in both his aptitude, his understanding, his toughness, his availability. Remember, he went through the rib thing, but never missed a day of practice, was out there. Those things are all valuable, and he's doing the things necessary to help his team win. And he's Eric, without sounding silly, but you and I talk about this a ton. He is another tremendous example of the vetting that they do for the culture of this football team. Another guy that just fits perfectly for what they're doing, both from a standpoint of talent and potential and being a great citizen in the locker room and a great teammate.
I think you said it well about RJ Harvey. Yes, he certainly has been microwaved. With that, looking ahead to next season, is RJ Harvey your RB1? And should he get the majority of the touches? Should they bring back J.K. Dobbins? We'll see because of the injury. But do you take Dobbins and make him your RB2?
I like this running back room with J.K. Dobbins. I know you do too. J.K. Dobbins for the first, half of this season was their most important offensive player.
Yes.
In terms of yards produced. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from Bowles and Miners, those guys, and they all have they make it happen for that. But from a standpoint of producing yards and things of that nature, he was their most important piece. So I am not going to be foolish and say that their running back room it can be better without a J.K. Dobbins. I like J.K. Dobbins.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have J.K. Dobbins.
I know you're not.
I'm saying that RJ Harvey, have you seen enough where he should be the primary back for next year? Let's say they bring back J.K. Dobbins, or they bring in a bruiser like a J.K. Dobbins to be your RB2. And here's the thing about Harvey that has improved so much, and it's been evident watching these games. From the beginning of the season to now 16 games in, Harvey's vision has gotten considerably better.
Absolutely.
And his blocking has gotten considerably better as well.
Yeah,
where at the beginning of the season, Harvey's blocking, like almost all rookies, is a liability.
Harvey is developing into a 3-down back. And that's what you're really excited about. You're excited about the versatility and the skill set of a guy on a rookie contract that can be that kind of player for you. You can check all the boxes that you want to check and need to check to be a productive offense. I think there is a spot for Dobbins in this running back room. And I think that he is the kind of guy that would understand and accept the role. Now, and maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but just based on my experience around him and listening to the comfortability that he had with the role that he was assigned for the Broncos, I think that role can evolve into a way that he can still be a very important piece to the puzzle, but maybe not the main piece to the puzzle in the running game.
We had this conversation leading up to this game. What are we really going to learn about the Broncos defense playing a Chiefs team that is down to its third string quarterback? What do we learn, if anything?
Well, we learned that Andy Reid was not going to allow pressure against this young man play out in the forms of a lot of dropbacks. I mean, he threw the ball 22 times, but his number of drop back passes were, until the last series, was like 4. They just didn't allow, and the average pass completion, I think, was in the 3-yard range. So it's pretty evident what they were trying to do, and again, you expect this from Andy Reid, who's just, by the way, damn good at what he does and one of the great coaches in NFL history, period. He ran the ball. He protected a quarterback that can't probably play in the pocket against a defense like the Broncos for very long and expect to have any kind of success. And they had just enough success running the football, and they got some advantages in field position because of special teams and they were +1 with a turnover, and they converted on those things. And that's what made the game interesting from that standpoint.
Right now, the Broncos have the best record in the NFL. The Avalanche have the best record in the NHL, and the Nuggets are knocking on the door, top 3 or 4 team in the league right now.
Fun.
We can agree, though, the Avs are the best team in town right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So with that, let's say you take Nathan McKinnon off the Avalanche right now. Are they still a Stanley Cup contender? I think they are.
Yeah.
Even if you take McKinnon off the roster.
God,
and
that's
he is having an
61 points
unbelievable
off the
season.
roster, though.
What's that?
That's 61 points off the roster.
But they still have a ton of point potential without
Yeah, they can
him.
score. And
their goalie situation is in great shape. We can both agree, I believe, that quarterback is arguably the most important position in sports. Is that a fair statement?
yes.
Okay. Which team can least afford to lose this player to win a championship? And this, I think, in some ways, might put into perspective just how important the quarterback position really is. Which team can least afford to lose this player to win a championship? The Broncos and Bo Nix, or the Nuggets and Nikola Jokić?
Oh, Nikola Jokić and the Nuggets.
Isn't that interesting, though? Quarterback is the most important position in sports.
Yeah.
But when you have a generational talent like Nikola Jokić, I'm sorry,
Well,
that
we've seen it.
generational talent will win out, just like
Right.
losing Michael Jordan.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah. And we've seen enough of the Nuggets without Nikola Jokić
Yeah.
over the years to
Yeah.
know and the fact that they built the team now to guard against that, right? That's why they've brought in all of this depth now that is all starting. They're out. They're out 3 starters. Let's not forget that. I mean, what are the Nuggets now? 21-7 or something like that. 21-8. I don't know what the numbers are, but they're doing it with now 3 starters out of the game. They've done most of this with 2 starters.
Yep.
With 2 starters out. But the key is obviously Nikola Jokić. And when you have, in your words, a generational player and maybe even a multi-generational player, and you in his prime where he is producing like he did last night, he is clearly at the top of the food chain.
Who's the most popular player in town right now? Not best, most popular amongst the fans. You would, at first blush, you'd say, of course, whoever's playing the quarterback position for the Broncos, right? And Bo Nix couldn't be any more likable.
Well,
he couldn't be any more clutch.
Yeah.
He has been the reason for a lot of these come from behind wins.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. There are, just by volume alone, there are more Broncos fans. When I flip on the tube and I'm just casually watching, all of a sudden the commercial appeal of Bo Nix is all over the place. I mean, right. you see him all over the place now on commercials and things of that nature. That one would be a little. I might hesitate on that one a little bit, but I think based on what they have given to this city.
Yep.
And what they continue to give to this city and the recognition of the unicorn that he is, I think it's still got to be Jokić. But I'll tell you what, Bo Nix is pretty damn close in that one, I think.
I mean, how can you not throw Nathan McKinnon in there this year?
Well, because I don't think that because I don't think the appeal, the mass appeal, I think for lack of a better description, there's a provincial, there's not as wide of, I don't think there's as wide and as fervent a fan base as there is. It's the difference between the NBA and the NHL. It has nothing to do with Nathan McKinnon, who is a international superstar. An international.
Who is?
Nathan McKinnon.
Well, Jokić is far more than McKinnon.
Well, I know, Eric, but you're asking me about what about Nathan McKinnon? I don't think Nathan McKinnon is on the same level of Q rating for sports fans in Denver.
If you're watching an Avalanche game or a Nuggets game, and there's an ISO camera on either McKinnon or Jokić, and that's all you can watch. Just the ISO camera. Which guy do you want to watch more?
Jokić.
And I would rather watch McKinnon.
And that's fine. And I totally
no. And by the way,
now here's the deal. Here's the deal. You know how I hate these types of comparisons.
Well, you know what?
Because the difference is so minute. But and I get it. You can say about both players because you will always be treated to something that possibly you've never seen before. And that is a wonderful thing to say about either player. It's remarkable. But I think at the end of the day, Nikola Jokić will be remembered as one of the greatest players in NBA history. He will be on that top rung of players that will be remembered. And yes, we understand the championships and the things of that nature, but Jokić is he's just a horse of a different color, man.
The way that I would break it down is Jokić is not an exciting player. I wouldn't call him exciting. What I would say is watching Nikola Jokić is like watching somebody solve a high-level math problem, okay? Like in the movie with Matt Damon and Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting. How in the world did Matt Damon's character, Will Hunting, solve that?
Yeah.
It's
how do you like them apples?
It's right. You like apple? Right. Well done. Yeah. Well done. But watching McKinnon is like watching a fireworks display.
It is.
It just depends on what excites you more. Somebody solving a problem that no one in the world can solve, which it doesn't seem like anybody can solve Nikola Jokić right now. Or do you want to watch fireworks on ice? And there's no wrong answer.
And it's
just simply both are amazing to watch. It's just one is far more cerebral, right, and the other one just jumps off the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have options a town like this. And
then throw in Bo Nix, who's doing what he's doing in the fourth quarter.
And Bo Nix is worthy of that discussion, even with those two other guys, because of what he is doing in the freaking NFL. You just can't dismiss it because of what he does and how he does it. And at the times that he does it, they are 11-2 in one-score games to a large degree because of the ability of Bo Nix late in games to make plays. Eric, you've been here longer than I have and will be here longer after I'm gone. It's hard for me in the 10 years that I've been here to imagine a better time or to locate a better time in Denver sports history.
Well, think about this. I don't know if there's been a better time in terms of sports for any city in the history of sports. Meaning, Tom Brady had that great run with the Patriots, right? And then you had some really good Celtics players and some really good Boston Bruins players. Yep. But again, let's go back to it. Jokić will win another MVP. I think that is fair to say. I think
you're right. Absolutely.
I think that the Jokić fatigue it's kind of like when you go to the beach and the water cascades onto the sand, right?
Yeah.
There was just too much of it for everybody. There was just too much Jokić. So maybe we'll give it to SGA. But now that the tide is receding back into the ocean, to me, that is the feeling about Nikola Jokić. It's not flooding the beach anymore. Now it's going. So now we can look at Jokić differently because he didn't win last year. So only 2 times in the history of sports has a player in two different sports in the same city won the MVP. 89, it was Gretzky and Magic. A couple of years ago, it was Jokić and McKinnon. It's going to be Jokić and McKinnon again with, oh, by the way, a football team to boot that just happens to have one of the best up-and-coming young quarterbacks in the league, one of the best defenses in the league, that just so happens to have the best record in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is well stated. Yeah, I mean, Jokić and McKinnon sharing the same building during the same points of prowess in their incredible careers. It is such next level stuff. And the appreciation that you have to have for being in this place and time in Denver sports history. I mean, don't take it for granted, folks. We won't see anything like this again, because it's the uniqueness of seeing this right now that is so breathtaking. So enjoy it while you have it. I mean,
you know what makes it even more? I'll give you a couple other things, and we got to cut the podcast short.
Sure.
Number one, you have the number one overall pick in the NHL draft and a second round pick in the NBA draft. But you know what else these two guys have in common that nobody talks about? I understand why they don't, but I think it's worth mentioning. Those two players, Jokić and McKinnon, just happen to be getting their paycheck from the same guy.
Right. Yeah. They play under the same roof for the same ownership.
And I think the only way to truly cap off the last however many days, because it's not going to be under one calendar year, I get it. I think the thing that would top it off the best is if the Broncos make it to the Super Bowl to take on Stan Kroenke's LA Rams.
That would be a great circle, right?
That would be the ultimate in who wants to go to that Thanksgiving Day table. The Walton, Penner, Walton, Kroenke table. That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. Make it the best possible day you can. Guys,